Okay, this week we're making, let me just make sure I get this as best I can, spiced Boudin Blanc Cassoulet by Sara Todds. So this is essentially a sausage with some beans in a tomato sauce. As usual, I couldn't properly find all the exact ingredients, so I swapped out chicken breasts with chicken tenders, which, in my opinion, that's pretty much the same thing. So I couldn't find any butter beans either at the store, so I swapped them out with some cannelloni beans. Okay, so to start off, we're going to make the chicken sausage. So I've just got my chicken here that I've roughly chopped up, and I've got my little spice mix here that I've made up. All the ingredients and amounts will be on the website, traditional but not. Also, I'm going to be adding the egg white. Now I'm just going to pulse this together until it all comes together. Once it's all chopped up and come together, you just want to tip it out into another bowl, and you want to go ahead and add your cream. Now, once you got your cream in there, you just want to mix it together. Now, I could struggle and keep going with the spatula, but I'm not. Now, I don't have any gloves, but I'm going to use my hand, and I'm just going to wash it after. Yeah, it's no problem. So I'm just going to get the cream all mixed in, and then we'll move on to the next step. So, after I mixed the cream and all that in, I've divided it up into 4 equal parts, and then you just want to get the parts, and you want to plop them on your cling film, and you want to put it more toward the back of the cling film, not in the middle like I just did. Then you just want to fold the first piece over, and then just start working it out, making sure that there's to keep as much air bubbles out in the sausage as possible. And you just want to coax it out till it's about, the size of your hand long, maybe just a little bit more, depending on how, girthy you want your sausage. And then you just want to go ahead, get it nice and tight, and then roll it up. Again, if you start seeing air bubbles in there, you just want to try and work it so there's no air bubbles in there. And once you get it rolled up, kind of looking good how you want it, you just want to grab it, kind of pinch at the ends, and then just twirl it. And then just tuck the ends underneath. Just have another little look. Make sure there's no air bubbles. If you can see any, just try and work it around so they're all out. Then once you've done that, as you can see, I've already done the other ones. And that one's done. And now we'll get ahead and start poaching them. Okay, I've got a pot here with some cold water in it. It doesn't have to be like fridge cold, just, cold water out the tap. I'm going to place the sausages straight in. I'll add a little bit more water in. And now I'm going to add this plate here on top of them just to keep them submerged. And now I'm going to turn this on. Now I've got this electric stove, so I'm going to turn it on high because it takes a while for it to warm up and everything. Once this comes to a boil, then I'm going to remove the sausages and then we'll unwrap them. So this is just to get the sausages to firm up, and then we'll finish cooking them in the pan. So in the original recipe, they use rashers of bacon, which you can get in Australia, and it has a lot more fat. Now I'm just using this pre-cube stuff, which doesn't leach a lot of fat out. To start off with, I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan, and I'm just going to put my onions straight in and just saute them off in the olive oil. After your onions are then translucent, they shouldn't have any colour on them like I do, but anyway, they'll be fine. I'm going to add the bacon. Now if you didn't use this type of bacon, but the actual rasher type, you would cook that off before and then just remove the bacon with a slotted spoon and leave the fat behind, and then you would saute the onions in the bacon fat. But since mine don't leach that much fat, we're just going to add them in now. Go along with that, we're going to add the beans with the liquid as well. We're also going to add the crushed tomatoes and the spices. So we're just going to give that a little mix up and get it all incorporated. So once you get all this mixed and incorporated, we're just going to simmer it over a medium to low heat for about 30 minutes until the sauce is reduced to the consistency we want. Okay, with your sauce, you just want to balance it out with just a little bit of lemon juice. So we'll just add a little bit, we'll give it a mix in, and then we'll just give it a little taste and see what else it needs. After your sauce has been bubbling away and reduced to about, what we're looking about here. Now this will thicken up a little bit more after I take it off the heat, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to turn the heat off of that, and then we'll just let that sit until we're ready for it. As you can see, just about at a boil here. So I'm going to remove the plate with my trusty tongs and bring a sausage with it. And luckily I had the plate there prepared. Now we're just going to remove the sausages as well. Okay, once you get your sausages removed, you're going to remove the happy wrap from the outside, and then we're going to pan sear them. With the sausages, just going to add a little bit of oil to the pan, and then also considering we're using French techniques, we're going to add some butter too. And then we'll just let that melt down and get all nice and frothy, and then we'll brown the sausages. Okay, once your butter's in your pan, it's all melted and getting a little foamy. Just going to add the sausages in. And now we're just going to cook these until they're nicely coloured on all sides and cooked all the way through. So while you're standing here waiting for your sausages to cook, just go ahead and baste them a little bit. And it'll help them cook through a little bit quicker and, you know, quite therapeutic. Okay, once your sausages are cooked through and they've got a good colour all the way around, go ahead and take them out and you're ready to plate. Okay, now for the all-important taste test. Now, usually chicken sausages are quite dry and dreary, but this one's pretty moist. In the show, one of the judges said it's quite hard to not get these squeaky. I heard a little bit of squeakiness, so maybe mine's not as good as hers, but it still tastes pretty damn good.